Howdy everyone, it's the Black Shot here. Hello and welcome to this mid-month update video. I know I do tend to normally do these like at the start and ends of months rather than constantly in the middle, but as is the way with both the channel and like the world being as crazy as it is, unfortunately a few of these are kind of need to be a bit more often than I would do otherwise. Before we get in, just quickly show off here, this is obviously a different camera view. This is actually the camera view I was intending to use mainly for the channel here, and mainly so I can sort of show off all the stuff that's behind me. Unfortunately, this is horrendously impractical for streaming, stuff like that, which I generally do like camera shit off of, and this stuff for. The desk is going on like this. It's like about a 60-degree angle. Like I'd be like here. It's no good. But I wanted to show stuff, just show off the back, the other side. You know, the room, got the bookcase of all sorts of gifts and bits I've received over time from friends, family, people on the channel, that sort of bits and pieces, all sorts of things. Got a Parasite Eve 1 and 2 soundtracks there, lightning. Got the precinct key keychain bits from Shane. I still don't want to use them actually as they are. They're really cool and I'd hate to damage them. Further down we've got the pop figurine for Jill Valentine down there. Got a Resident Evil Gaiden, which I was sent, thanks. And as well as a couple of mugs here of the BS Inc logo. Available to you now at Patreon. So this might possibly be a bit of a lengthy update video, as I'm sure people will see how long this video is actually going on for. So as always, I'll put in timestamps in the video descriptions below. Before I get into the meat of it, there is one thing that I absolutely had to make mention to you guys, and that is this here. I'll put a link in the video description for this as well. I'm sure there are probably some of you who may already know about this here. I've only been recently made aware of this. I haven't been keeping the best track of social media. But available here is the bundle for racial justice and equality over at itch.io. This is in sort of response, obviously, to all the madness that's currently going on with hashtag Black Lives Matter, all of the protests, all of that kind of craziness here. And basically, a big, giant bundle has been compiled over the past sort of several days and such. Of an absolute plethora of indie games, small sort of video games, all sorts of bits and pieces that have been put together for, I think this has got to be one of the biggest video game bundles I've ever seen, and possibly one of the biggest ever. Raising funds for the NNACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, as well as the Community Bail Fund, in response to everything that's been going on, basically. I don't normally do plugs here, but considering that all this is available for $5, it's kind of insane, folks, and they're very, very close to meeting the goal they're chasing here. There are too many games simply to scroll through, but some notable games here. There are some astonishing titles available for you. Night in the Woods I've heard plenty about. Celeste has got to be, what, one of the greatest games that was made in 2018? I've never actually played Celeste, which is a crime, really. But I really, really like one of the best games that have ever been made as far recently. Absolutely universal acclaim when it was released further down. There's probably some games, bits and pieces that you guys may know of that I don't. Mid-Boss is kind of a rather cute little mix of turn-based play with a roguelike dungeon crawler. It's kind of an interesting selection of hybrid games. And further down, again, a few more bits and pieces. Again, there's an absolute astonishing amount of games here. Again, some of which you may know and some of which I might not. But heading down, even there's just an unbelievable, even for like Celeste in itself, it's astonishing. Old game here, During the Pulsating Mass. It was made originally with RPG Maker, but is like a really, really cool game. If no one's ever tried it, I definitely suggest going and checking him out. It's got a really, really awesome sort of understory as to what the game's actually about, not just going for an RPG. Really, really awesome stuff. And heading on further down as well, it's just an astonishing, astonishing list of games. Which is just extraordinary. So if you fancy like spending $5 or so, or even more than that, and donating towards good causes, then all of this and more can be yours. Again, I'll put the link down in the video description below. Right, so now it's time to get into the actual update proper that was sort of originally planned here. So the first thing we'll be talking about for a little bit is concerning Resident Evil, specifically Resident Evil Resistance. If you're not particularly interested in that, then skip forward to the timestamp that's in the description below. I'll be talking a bit more generally about the channel, upcoming series and stuff we're going to be doing, talking about GTA4, all the stories and that sort of thing. But I wanted to talk about Resident Evil Resistance first, mainly for a variety of reasons, actually. Just early today, it was announced that the third title update for the game is due to be released, which is actually coming out tomorrow, if you believe it or not. They only announced it about, like, maybe 4 or 5 hours ago. and it is coming out tomorrow. Title Update 3 is going bringing with it, as I had predicted, a brand new map called The Prison, as well as some other balances and changes all the updates do. There'll be more skins and stuff and bits and pieces available, as there always is as well. It's nice to see that the game has been receiving sort of fairly regular updates, although it does seem kind of weird to me, the fact that the announcement for the update is coming like less than 24 hours than the update actually going live. Like, normally wouldn't you kind of give a few days notice so people can kind of like, you know, expect it to happen? Now, I don't know what was going on here. Obviously, we've been playing Resident Evil Resistance on the channel since basically it came out. I've been streaming it near weekly. I've talked at length about my thoughts of the game, you know, and while I do appreciate it, admittedly, opinions on the game do vary from curative little multiplayer shooter with some very unique mechanics with the Mastermind to shouldn't have wasted their time and instead should have put the resources into RE3 DLC. As is usually the way both sides have a degree of merit to their arguments, but that's beside the point. The updates themselves have been coming out actually pretty regularly as well, monthly. They've been coming out on, I researched it, the last 3 months on the 17th, the 15th, and the 15th again, upcoming here, but all on Fridays. So it's nice to know that there is regular updates going for the game. However, it just seems weird that you'd have so little notice for the update, and it does make me a little bit worried that maybe not all's quite right. The updates are coming regularly, but I suspect that Neobards perhaps are having difficulties in getting everything ready in time. I think they're probably having some scheduling issues in that respect. But for that matter, it's nice to see that the game is continuing to receive updates. However, there are other problems which require solving, which is the main reason that I actually was going to bring this up. It's just the updates happen to come up at the same time, so I figured I'd mention it. I've been playing this game on the PC since it came out. I've sunk over 200 hours into the game, and I've enjoyed most of those hours. Some of them have been kind of a pain in the arse, you know, with bits and pieces that have gone wrong, but all in all, it's been an enjoyable experience. However, things aren't going great on the PC. Things aren't going great on the PC at all. I don't know if it's harsh to say this or not. Maybe it's just the realistic truth. But I think the game on PC has kind of been a bit of a failure all in all. Now, on other platforms, it's been different. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I've been talking about this over the last stream or two. I was out for like a morning walk like a few days ago, and I was out for like nearly 2 hours just walking around thinking about all sorts of bits and pieces, and Resistance was one thing that came up. I still kind of enjoy Resistance, and I still want to play more of it. The problem is the game is becoming less and less enjoyable for PC, and there are a variety of reasons for that, which I'm not going to go on to now, but there's one thing that's a real problem, and I'll show it here. So this is steamdb.info. It is a site that I've shown off on my Resistance streams several times. It is a very, very useful tool used for compiling numbers and statistics about all games on Steam, see how they're performing, how they have performed previously, all sorts of stuff. And there's a problem. There's a really, really big problem with this game, and it is that. I've talked about this again on stream several times in bits and pieces. I don't think in a way, although this number is obviously not very bad, not at all good here, the more worrying statistic is this chart right here. Now, I don't think the numbers here are particularly the issue. What's more, the problem is the trend. This is when the game came out. This is the first weekend. You know, sort of 4,000-ish sort of players. Great. There was a massive slide within the space of like less than 2 weeks. A lot of players of the percentage player base had dropped off. Then the dual update came out, and a lot of people picked it up again. And then it's gone down and down and down and down and down. This is the Nikolai update. When this came out, again, the players almost didn't stay. And it's been going down and down and down and down again. It's been up a little bit over the past few days. This is due to the fact that Resident Evil 3 in itself went on sale not too long ago. Sort of the first time. It was like a third off or something. So a few more people have been picking up the game, and thus a few more people have been trying Resident Evil Resistance, which is great. And, you know, I'm all for more and more people playing Resistance. But this is not enough people. It's not even close. And it's making life really, really difficult for this game on PC. Ultimately, at this moment in time, it is a game for the hardcores. It is a game of hardcores. Most of the people that I see are playing this are people that are playing this, you know, like several days a week, if not more often. It is, while it's not as brutal a game to start on now, it is still incredibly, incredibly difficult. There's a very high entry point, and ultimately, you know, if you're coming in sort of trying to game out, you know, not too sure what you think about it, you come in and you run against like a level 50, 60 Nikolai, he just absolutely rips you to shreds. There's no real like emphasis or desire to really carry on the game, I don't think. And it's the whole reason I'm bringing this up and this entire number here is because I am going to be making a transfer from PC to PlayStation 4. And you might wonder, well, why the hell would I want to do that? Well, as I said, this game, like, on a statistical basis currently, is a bit of a failure on PC. It has lost 90% of its player base within the space of, like, a couple of months that it had on PC. And while it's very possible this number could go back up again, there's an update coming out tomorrow, I don't know how it's going to get back up. And I don't see how it's going to get back up, at least on PC, for now. However, and while this isn't admittedly a like-for-like statistics, I'll take you over to GameStat.com here. This is running Resistance on the PlayStation 4, and note a total of 780,000 separate accounts have played this game since its release. And of particular note is the amount of new players that are still giving this a go. 100,000 new accounts tried this game over the course of the last month. In fact, if you come over here, you can see a daily count of amount of actual accounts that have tried it. And as you can see here, daily, there's like, over the course of the past week especially, there's like 1 or 2 or 3,000 separate accounts trying this game every day, which is great. This number should be a bit higher, it's a little worrying. But ultimately, it's a case of this set of numbers to this set of numbers is not even close. And that's what I decided upon here. I was like, I really do still want to play this game. PC is kind of, it's such hard work, as people have seen on the streams recently. The game is just such hard work, and it feels like the only way it could be sort of more easy and laid back if I was playing it much more regularly, which I can't. I've got other things to do. I've got a channel to run. And it is really difficult. There are other issues why this number is as low and it's not recovering. Mainly the fact that this game is still not available separately. You still have to buy this via Resident Evil 3. And I must admit, actually, when I first came out and was coming up, I assumed it was like a late-minute decision to bundle this with Resident Evil 3. As time is going on and on, I'm getting a feeling this was more the plan the whole time. Which is kind of evident in the fact that even if you go to like Twitter, for example, and look at the trailer for the prison, it's like prison. Oh, by the way, you need to buy this. Do you want to play this? You need to buy Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's going to cost you like $40 minimum. And the problem is, people are not going to pay $40 to try out a 4v1 asymmetric horror. They're just not going to do that, especially when you've got games like Dead by Daylight. I know, going to get probably criticized for making the comparison here, but it has to be made. Dead by Daylight is available for like $20 at most. There are regular enough sales. There's free weekends. Hell, in 3 months, the game's going to be at least half price. It's October. It's Halloween season. They always do sales around Halloween. And it's just the game's not doing itself any favors. And until they make the game available on its own, I don't really know how this number is meant to really realistically pick up. Especially with like a $40 price tag. It's just not going to happen. So that is kind of the situation. Now, of course, there is a much wider debate that could be had as to why Resident Evil Resistance is currently in the situation it is on PC, whatever console at the moment. I've had plenty of those discussions on stream. I'm not going to get into those now. But suffice to say that there is still a reasonable player base on the PlayStation 4. And while things like crossplay, for example, would be fantastic for Resident Evil Resistance, I just don't see how it's happening anytime. I've got no inkling whatsoever that it's going to be happening in the near future. There's no evidence, there's no suggestion at all that will happen. If it does, great, wonderful. But it's not going to at the moment, and I just can't particularly justify playing it on PC at the moment. It's not fun enough. Every game is hard work, and ultimately a lot of the people that I had been playing it with are no longer playing it, as is evidenced by the fact, again, 90% player drop-off there. PS4 is still going reasonably well. The Xbox is doing okay, but the PS4 is definitely the biggest player base. There's several people I know that are still playing it on PS4 as well. And while it will suck to be basically not allowed to take my 200 hours plus that I was put into the PC, and I'm going to have to start afresh on PS4. I thought about it and thought about it. I thought, you know what, I'm happy to make that decision and help and go back into it and try it again. Because like on PC, I can't even play Mastermind anymore. The games are too hard. I don't play it regularly enough. I go on to Mastermind. I did several games like off stream, and I was murdered in every single one. It wasn't even close. You know, and so it's like I can't even show that off on stream anymore. I can't even do that because it's just game after game after game of me just getting utterly destroyed. And that is unfortunately the situation as it is. So here's the plan of what I actually intend to do here. For those who don't know, i.e. the US people who are watching this, the UK government have actually announced that as of Monday next week, non-essential stores will be allowed to start reopening to the general public to do sales and bits and pieces like that. The timing of this is actually pretty good for me because at the moment it's basically, you know, basically supermarkets, food, necessities, that sort of thing. I have over £100 worth of store credits with a particular games retailer. It does electronics as well, and I thoroughly intend, hoping that it's going to open on Monday, to walk into said store and get hold of the game from there because I need to use that money somehow. It ain't spending itself. I've technically got like 1,000 years to spend it, but you know, better make a start on it very soon is the idea. So that's the plan for Monday, is I'm going to be doing that. What it also does mean is that the stream that I would regularly be doing this Sunday for Resistance, I'm going to be taking that Sunday off and having a bit of a rest for it. The idea being that I'm also going to be streaming something else instead on the Saturday. So there's going to be a slight changing of the Twitch schedule. I'll get into that in a short moment as I hit my mic there. Professionalism at its finest. And ultimately, I do hope that I will be able to return to the PC version. You know, some point down the line, the game would have picked up, you know, maybe via crossplay or whatever else, and I'll be able to go back to the PC version and, you know, make use of those 200 hours plus. You know, I've got every survivor character is like level 30 minimum. You know, I've put in a lot of hour and a lot of time. I put money into that game. I bought 50 freaking RP boosters for it. It cost me like 25 quid. And I do hope to return to that, but at the moment, it's not enjoyable at all, really. It's not enjoyable enough for what it should be, and that is just the situation. It's kind of sad that is what it is, but until things improve, assuming they do improve, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving over to the PlayStation 4. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll go pretty well. So that's Resistance taken care of. There's plenty of detail on that one. Now I'll talk about the channel a bit more sort of generally at large sort of thing. First of all, a quick mention for Grand Theft Auto 4, which we did begin the series of last week. Thanks to everyone who's been checking that one out. I've actually been enjoying GTA 4 a lot more than I thought I would. Maybe it's because I haven't played a GTA game in like nearly 3 years. Perhaps that's sort of, there's a bit of novelty to it. And I have mentioned, the series had like a weird degree of nostalgia. It's been really strange. Like the game, like as far as like it's nowhere near old compared to some of the stuff we've done on this channel. We've taken on games that were made in like the 1980s on this channel. The game was made 12 years ago, but it feels weirdly nostalgic, and it's very, very strange. But I am definitely enjoying it. Big shout as well in the comments section of those watching. There are all sorts of trackers going on here. Obviously, the game. I'm having a bit of a joke. I'm going to be keeping count on myself about how many times we get called over the series for being called at activities, be it bowling, be it darts, be it going down to the damn strip club, whatever the hell else. But there's actually some counts going on in the comments section. Stone's keeping count of like storyline kills for Nico, who's come to Liberty City to try and be a good man. Even Brandon Downey is keeping track of the amount of times like cars are getting jacked and that sort of thing. Not what I expected, GTA4 series to be turned into basically a 12-year-old experiment, but I'm okay with it. A mention as well, as I have mentioned in the start of the series, and just to reiterate, I do indeed plan to do both the Lost and Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony DLC stories. Obviously, that won't be until the main game is actually complete, which means the series as a whole has probably been going for a little while. I don't expect it to be finished until about like Halloween minimum, probably even beyond that. We've made quite a decent amount of progress, even in like 7 videos or whatever of GTA 4. We're getting through it pretty nicely. I think what's helping there as well is that I am spending time, like I'm cutting out bits of driving, this and that about. I'm doing bits and pieces off screen that you don't really need to see. I wouldn't quite say the series is like turning into like a highlight of GTA 4, But GTA4 definitely has its periods of kind of like downtime and sort of doing your own bits and pieces in the story, which I am kind of trying to keep to a minimum. Focus on the missions, focus on the interesting stuff going on and whatever else. So, yeah, for like, I've recorded 8 videos at this moment. We'll be recording more later on. I've cut out a surprising amount of that game already, which is probably helping with turnover time, which is, fine with me. I think that's the way it should probably be done. What also helps with GTA4 as well in that respect, was actually mentioned in the comments, was the fact that GTA4 is the first game for a little while that doesn't have like this sort of event. I know it's got like activities and stuff, but it isn't like San Andreas where you're having like defend your turf from being attacked by like the Bolus, or Vice City stories, where you've got to defend your businesses from being attacked or whatever else and that sort of thing. GTA4 doesn't actually have any of that. So if someone rings you for an activity and you just say no, then that's fine. You can just carry on and do your own thing, really. So I hadn't really realised about that, but it's actually kind of appreciated. It's kind of appreciated. Now, the one thing that I do really, really, really want to do while GTA4 is going on, because I say it's going to take some time, is I do want to delve into a couple of side series on the channel in the meantime. GTA4 definitely kind of fancy itself as quite a... I don't know if serious game is the word for it, but in comparison to games both prior and after it, it certainly is a rather heavy undertaking, if you will. So I do want to do some games on the side that are going to be kind of a bit more chilled and relaxed and playful and whatever the hell's happy, fluffy rainbows and all that sort of malarkey on the side here. And we've found the first one of those in a couple of weeks or so. I'm actually going to be returning to a series that I've not played for nearly 4 years on the channel. And props to anyone here who ever watched my Croc Legend of the Gobbo series. Croc is a game that I did back in October 2016, developed by Argonaut Software back in 1997. It was kind of one of those more obscure sort of platformers. It was in a world that was surrounded with stuff of, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and Super Mario. Croc sort of tried its damnedest to crack into it, and it was quite an adorable little game. If a bit of a bastard sometimes, but it was very, very enjoyable, and I enjoyed doing the series for that. There was actually a second game of the series released, I think it was a couple of years later, 1999, that I've never actually ever taken on. I've never played it, ever, which is kind of astonishing, really, because I really, really do like the first Croc. And I figure that might be a nice game just to kind of, in theory, sort of sit back and relax to. Although I have heard that the game can actually be really, really damn hard when it wants to be, which, nothing new for this channel, right? Yeah. So anyway, so I'm looking to start that series in probably a couple of weeks or so. I need to get hold of it and get it sorted as well and kind of set up things, set up and whatever the hell else, that I have to do for this channel. You understand, sort of thing. So I will keep people in the loop with regards to that, both on Twitter and the Discord. But yeah, hopefully in a couple of weeks or so I'll be getting into that. It'd be nice to do that. I haven't done a platformer on the channel since, we did Crash 2 is probably the last platform I really touched upon. Did I do Spyro before or after that? I really don't remember. It's all a blur sometimes. It's been that kind of month. It's been that kind of fucking year, isn't it? So that we're going to be barking onto there. As far as schedule is concerned for the channel, I don't really need to put one up because it's kind of the same as what it is at the moment. Going to be looking to release main episodes of GTA 4 Monday to at least Friday, if not Saturday. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be releases for RTK 11 with Lonzo Ryan. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays will be more Resident Evil Resistance highlighted games, of which I've still got quite a few of those. I've just recently worked through like the second big batch of them that I've got, and I think I've got scheduled uploads for that up until like the middle of July. There are quite a few games of that still to go. Some real crackers as well. And it's kind of weird as well because some of the games are like lagging quite behind. Some of them I played like well over a month ago at least. And it's kind of weird to see like the game pre some of the updates. Like I think I've only just got up to about when Jill's coming into the game, which is really weird. Obviously, a lot of my playing was lop-ended to like pre the first update. Since then, it's been a lot sparser for a variety of reasons. Like moving house, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's kind of cool to look back at that, and there are still some really good games to come up. So hopefully, people are still watching those and enjoying them. We'll see how long that'll be continuing. Obviously, it depends how long I continue with Resistance and such. But as I've mentioned in the earlier part of this video, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to be moving from PC over to PlayStation 4 for reasons that I've documented in this video. And I do intend to give it a good crack. So we'll have to see what happens in regards to all of that. As far as Twitch streaming is going to go for the next couple of weeks or so, again, there's been a slight change of scheduling because of the fact that Resident Evil Resistance, I'm making the transfer to PC and PlayStation 4. That's only going to happen next week. So there's not going to be any Resistance this Sunday. Kind of take a week off here. So what I'm going to be doing is we have been playing socially with the Jackbox Party Packs. And I'm going to be doing one more stream of that this weekend. I'm going to be doing it this Saturday. And the plan is that might well be the last one of those that I'm going to do for a little bit of a while. They'll put to that rest. Like we did Among Us for a little while, putting that to rest. We're doing Jackbox, it'll be like the 4th stream we've done. I'll put that to rest. The reason for that is because I've got something else I want to have a crack at. And that is a little bit game called Overcooked. Recently, I believe a 3rd version of that was released not too long ago. But over on Epic Games stores at the moment, I think up until like today or maybe yesterday, the first game's actually been released for free, and I've always wanted to give Overcooked a try. I have seen plenty of footage for bits and pieces. It looks like a very entertaining game. I've been whipping up, getting some people involved in hopefully for that, and the idea is I'm going to be looking to stream that probably on Fridays from like next week. And we're going to be doing, playing through the game. I'm going to be doing it online with a group of folks, which should look to be quite entertaining. I'm very looking forward to it. I've just got to finalise some details for that, which I won't be able to do until after I record this video. So do keep track on the Twitch page to keep an eye for full details on that. And I'll probably release it as and when I can over on the Twitter sphere as well. So yeah, it will be Jackbox this Saturday night. And then next week it will be from onwards there. It will be Overcooked on Fridays and Resistance on Sundays is the plan. I might end up doing some stuff during the week, possibly even with Resistance. I'm not sure yet. Totally depends. It's hard to put very much in stone at the moment. There's a few bits and pieces going on that are kind of hampering with that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the update. As I said, sorry it's a bit longer this one, but there is plenty going on. I'll make it up to you at the end of the month and keep it really, really damn short. I haven't even talked about October yet. I was even going to dedicate some time talking about Halloween and stuff that I've got planned to get involved. I haven't even talked about like the fact that Silent Hill DLC has been added to Dead by Daylight, which I'm very interested in. I haven't played Dead by Daylight for quite a while, but I am looking to make a return to the game. And perhaps over the course of Halloween period, kind of see what I'm thinking of it. Maybe by then I might have decided what I'm actually doing properly Resident Evil Resistance. I haven't even talked about Paul Haddad, the voice actor for Leon in Resident Evil 2, who tragically passed away not too long ago, only about a week or so ago. He passed away. I was meant to make a mention of that in the previous update video, and it completely slipped my mind. It is a very, very crazy and all-changing world. And suffice to say, like, in fact, I have been here like a month now, which is kind of crazy to think about. It doesn't feel like a month. It has been very, very whirlwind, and there is a lot changing all the time. So, yeah, apologies for all of the bits and pieces, but I don't want to spend any more time here. This update video is going for, like, at least 25 minutes or something like that. It must be at this point, so don't want to go into any more detail. So, thank you very much for watching and listening. As always, you can get hold of us on the Twitter sphere at BlackShow993. We've got our lovely Discord, which... Oh, yeah. That. Goddamn contractual obligations. I gotta tell you, folks, being forced to do bits and pieces against your will, it goddamn sucks. It goddamn sucks. Right, what have we got today? What did the ocean say to the beach? Thanks for all the sediment. Good God. I burned 2,000 calories today. I left my food in the oven for too long. I must admit, I don't know exactly what it feels like to drive a nail into one's skull, but this has got to be a pretty close representation to that. It's got to be close. I gotta do something about this. This just can't carry on. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. Take care in this crazy, crazy world we're living in. Hopefully I'll see you on GTA4, be it Croc 2, on stream, all sorts of stuff going on. Plenty of content to keep you keep yourself occupied, I should say, in this crazy, crazy world. Take care, everyone.